Welcome to Crops, Cattle, and Charley, and I'm Charley Martinez. And today I'm joined by Andrew Griffith and the University of Tennessee crop economist Aaron Smith with the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics. Today, Dr. Smith is going to be discussing PLC and ARC payments in Tennessee. So, Dr. Smith, will Tennessee producers receive any ARC or PLC payments this year?
The simple answer to that is yes. Most crop producers will receive payments from those programs. It is important to point out, though, that those payments that will be received in calendar year 2020, some October, are going to be for the 2019 crop year. So again, that's the crop that was harvested this past fall. We won't receive payments under ARC and PLC until later on in 2020. The 2020 crop, the ARC and PLC payments won't be received until October of 2021. So it's important to kind of distinguish which year you're receiving payments for when you're factoring that into the analysis. So when we look at 2019, it does look like for PLC, we will receive a corn payment. The payment rate's approximately 10 cents a bushel. If you look at cotton, it's about 7 cents a pound. Soybeans, there's not a PLC payment scheduled. But there is a potential to get an ARC County payment for those that enrolled in ARC County. And then wheat is scheduled to end up getting a 90 cent per bushel payment for a payment rate for 2019. It is important to note, too, that in 2019, we signed up for the programs again under the 2018 Farm Bill. So a lot of row crop producers end up switching their elections from ARC County to PLC, particularly for corn. When we look at the sign-up rates, about 75% of our base acres are in corn, in PLC, and soybeans is only about 14%, with cotton and wheat pretty much all in PLC. So it is important to kind of look at how that is going to affect potential payments. So when we look at how these payments are made, they're made on base acres, so it's not necessarily dictated by what's planted on that property. So producers really have to go through and look at what their base acreage allocation was.
So Dr. Smith, you mentioned that payments are not received in the same year the crop is produced. How does this affect producers?
Well, as I mentioned, it means that you end up receiving payments for a crop that was produced kind of outside of what the marketing year was. So one of the things that's really important is to make sure that you're communicating that with your lender so that they do know that you are potentially going to be receiving payments for those base acres. One thing that does add a degree of complexity for Tennessee is the fact that our base acres and our planted acres really don't match up very well for a lot of producers. So again, it becomes to determine how you assign those payments. Do you assign them to the base acre? So if you have a seed cotton base, for example, you assign it to cotton, even though maybe you're not growing cotton. When we look at what our base acres look like, we have a substantial amount of cotton base, about 613,000 base acres in Tennessee, but we're only planting about 410,000 acres. Soybeans is the opposite direction, where we only have about 781,000 acres of soybean base, but we're planting 1.4 million acres. So again, how you allocate those payments by cropping enterprise can be challenging, in addition to the fact that they're receiving payments on a 1-year delay as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Smith, and thank you to the viewers for joining us for Crops, Cattle, and Charley, and we hope that you'll join us for another one. Thank you.